Okay, for today's video lesson, I'm going to show you how to make an instant cloth doll. And it's kind of instant because you don't have to sew it from scratch. Basically, go to any arts and crafts store, or maybe you can find these online. And these are made by a company called Fibercraft. It's a little bendable doll. As you see, I got this one for $7.99 at Hobby Lobby. And basically, just take the doll out of the plastic bag. And I already have one I've taken out. And they come in a standard basic color, but I like to add some skin tones and some other things to my dolls, which really give them that handmade quality. As you can see, some of my other dolls, you've probably seen them in some other videos. You need to add, like, obviously a face and some hair and some clothes. Doll clothes are real easy to make. And you might notice that some of my dolls have a little damage on them because these dolls basic come with a wire, a bendable wire, so I guess you can pose the doll, but I don't really like that wire. I'm not comfortable with it. So what you can do is just clip, or actually sometimes you can just push. You can just cut a little hole and pull the wire out and just sew it back up. Once I tie-dye the dolls, not tie-dye, but use that Ritz dye, I typically dye my dolls a brown color because that's kind of what I like. And I'm going to show you next in a minute how to, the best way to do that with your washing machine. Okay? Okay, as you can see, we're all ready to go into the washing machine, just about. In order to dye your dolls a certain skin tone, get yourself a package of the powdered dye. I like the powdered dye, and I'm using, let's see, cocoa brown, which gives the dolls a nice brown color. And I've already taken all my dolls and taken them out of the packaging. So now I'm going to put them in the washing machine, which is really kind of creepy when you think about it. It's like, there they go. These are a couple I bought from some other company, and they had a real funny color to them. But I'm just going to take all my dolls and just go ahead and just put them on in there any old way. Should be fine. And ultimately, what you will get, hopefully, because obviously I guess dye color and water temperature might affect the final color of your doll. But every time I've done this, they've come out okay, so it works for me. You could obviously use any other color or any other version of, powdered dye that you want. Obviously, you need to turn on the machine to the hottest setting. And the longest length. And let it fill up with water. And then you're going to put in your dye. Make sure you let the machine fill up with water first before you put the dye in. So I'm going to do that now. And obviously I already have a finished product, which are the dolls in brown. And that's pretty much how you dye your doll and get your doll to be the color that you want. You could use pink or red or blue. You can make dolls of any color if you want. And if you look at some of the other videos on my YouTube channel, you'll see that how to make the hair. And I haven't put up a video yet for how to do the doll faces, but I'll do that soon. And thanks for watching. Okay, like I said before, you really want to let the machine fill up with water first before you start putting this dye in. And some people use rubber gloves when you're handling and opening this dye, because sometimes these packages are opened a little bit for some reason, and that dye gets on your hands and it's really hard to get off. But I'm going to give it a minute for the washing machine tub to fill up, and then I'm going to put the dye in. I actually let the machine go for a little bit and, you know, spin, and then put the dye in, but I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, once again, this looks really creepy, but here are all the dolls in my washing machine. The tub is filled with really hot water because you're going to use this rich dye, and the water has to be really hot. My machine won't start spinning unless I close the lid, so let me just close the lid a minute and let it spin. Because you want the dolls to get soaked with water, really drenched, so that way the color doesn't end up more concentrated in one spot than the other. Alright, let me open up a little minute. Looks like I'm going to have to push these down a little bit. Okay. So, then I'm going to open up my dye. Take it out of the box. Remember, I'm using cocoa brown, but you can use any color you want. And me being me, I was probably going to make a mess out of this. I'm just going to tear this open and just sprinkle it down in the water. There's probably a better way to do this, and of course I dropped it on there. And I probably got dye on my hands now. And let me go ahead and close this up so it can do its thing. Oh, and it's mad at me. Well, eventually it'll start washing. Oop, let me turn it to wash. Oh, now my washing machine is acting up. Oh, there we go. And as you can see, let's take a peek. Ooh, looky, now it's all chocolatey in there. So we'll just let that do its thing. Spin, spin, spin. And obviously we'll continue to work on the dolls. But like I said, you want to put your dolls in with your rich dye. If you're only using one doll, you could probably still go ahead and put it in. You might want to get like a sheet or something, or a pillowcase, so you'll have something else that won't unbalance your sewing machine. Your washing machine. Or you can do it by hand. Whatever works for you, as long as you can dye your doll whatever color that you prefer. Let's see how it's going. Okay, see, they're still primarily a solid color, but they'll be brown by the time this is done. And then I'll put them in the dryer, let them run, and all will be right with the world. And thanks for watching. Still watching. Oh, and by the way, one of the most important things about using dye in the washing machine, make sure you bleach out your machine when you finish making these dolls. Otherwise, that brown dye is going to bubble up and you're going to have it all over the place. Okay?